Vocabulary in context. Read each context card. Ask a question that uses one of the vocabulary words. Tunnel. A chipmunk knows how to dig a tunnel, which is a passage underground. Curled. This fox is curled up around its warm, bushy tail. Height. An eagle builds its nest at an amazing height. It is at the top of a tall tree. Direction. An owl can turn its head in any direction. It can look all around. Toward. These bear cubs run toward their mother so she can protect them. Healed. This pangolin will go back to the forest when it is well or healed. Brag. These antlers are something to brag about. They are huge. Tease. Never tease or bother wild animals. Always respect them. Read and comprehend. Understanding characters. In How Chipmunk Got His Stripes, the characters Bear and Brown Squirrel speak and act like people. Think about what they say, think, and do when something happens to them in the story. Pay attention to this text evidence can help you understand what each character is alike. Use a chart to list the characters and your ideas. Character, event, words, thoughts, actions. Summarize. Stop to tell important events as you read. Previewing the topic. Traditional tales. Traditional tales are stories that people have been telling for many years. Some traditional tales are made-up stories about how or why something is the way it is. Characters in traditional tales usually learn a lesson. This is called the moral of the story. When you read How Chipmunk Got His Stripes, think about what Bear and Brown Squirrel learn and what the story explains. Target skill. Understanding characters. Tell more about characters. Genre. A folk tale is a kind of traditional tale. As you read, look for a simple plot that teaches a lesson. Animal characters who talk and act like people. Meet the authors. Joseph Bruchaca and James Bruchaca. As a boy, Joseph Bruchaca listened to his grandfather tell stories of their Native American heritage. Joseph passed these stories down to his son, James. Now, this father and son team writes books together, such as Raccoon's Last Race. Meet the illustrators, Joseph Arruego and Ariane Dewey. These two artists make a great team. When they are working on a book, Jose Arruego first draws the lines for the characters using pen and ink. Then Ariana Dewey paints the colors. In this way, they have illustrated more than 60 books. How Chipmunk Got His Stripes? Essential question. How can stories help you learn a lesson? One autumn day long ago, Bear was out walking. As he walked, he began to brag. I am Bear. I am the biggest of all the animals. Yes, I am. I'm Bear. I am the strongest of all the animals. Yes, I am. I am Bear. I am the loudest of all the animals. Yes, I am. I am Bear. I am Bear. I can do anything. Yes, I can. As soon as Bear said those words, a little voice spoke up from the ground. Can you really do anything? Bear looked down. He saw a little brown squirrel standing on his hind legs. Can you really do anything? Brown Squirrel asked again. Bear stood up very tall. I am Bear. I can do anything. Yes, I can. Can you tell the sun not to rise tomorrow morning? Brown Squirrel asked. I have never tried that before, but I am Bear. I can do that. Yes, I can. Analyze the text. Understanding characters. What does Bear say and do? What does this tell you about him? Bear turned west to face the sun. It was the time when the sun always goes down. Bear stood up to his full height and spoke in a loud voice. Sun, do not come up tomorrow. At his words, the sun began to disappear behind the hills. You see, Bear said, Sun is afraid of me. He is running away. But will the sun come up tomorrow? Brown Squirrel asked. No, Bear answered. The sun will not come up. Then Bear turned to face east, the direction where the sun always used to come up. He sat down. Little Brown Squirrel sat down beside him. All that night, they did not sleep. All that night, Bear kept saying these words. The sun will not come up. The sun will not come up. But as the night went on, Little Brown Squirrel began to say something too. He said these words. The sun is going to rise. Ah, the sun is going to rise. Ah. All through the night, they sat there, one by one. Other animals gathered around them. Fox and wolf, deer and moose, rabbit and porcupine, hawk and owl, otter and beaver, frog and turtle, and even the little mice came. They wanted to see who would be right, Bear or Brown Squirrel. This is what the other animals heard. The sun will not come up. The sun is going to rise. Ah. The sun will not come up. The sun is going to rise. Ah. Analyze the text. Author's word choice. Why does the author keep repeating Bear's sentence and Little Brown Squirrel's sentence? Finally, it was just before dawn, the time when the sun always used to come up. Look, said the turtle, a little bit of red is starting to show. Yes, said the owl, I believe the sun will rise today. Bear only chanted louder. The sun will not come up. But right next to him, Little Brown Squirrel piped up. The sun is going to rise. Ah! And the sun came up. The birds sang their welcoming songs. The bright light of the new day spread over the land. Everyone was happy except for one animal. That animal was Bear. He sat there with his head down and a grumpy look on his face. The happiest animal of all was Little Brown Squirrel. The sun came up, he chirped. The sun came up, the sun came up, the sun came up. Brown Squirrel was so happy he forgot what his wise old grandmother had told him when he was very young. Brown Squirrel, his grandmother had said, it is good to be right about something, but when someone else is wrong. It is not a good idea to tease him. Now, little brown squirrel began to tease Bear. Bear is foolish, the sun came up. Bear is silly, the sun came up. Bear is stupid, the sun... Whoomp! Bear's big paw came down on little brown squirrel, pinning him to the ground. Bear leaned over and opened his huge mouth. Yes, Bear groaned. The sun did come up. Yes, I do look foolish, but you will not live to see another sunrise. You will not ever tease anyone else again, because I, Bear, am going to eat you. Brown Squirrel thought fast. You're right to eat me, he said. I was wrong to tease you. I would like to say I am sorry before you eat me, but you are pressing down on me so hard that I cannot say anything. I cannot say anything at all. I cannot even breathe. If you would lift up your paw just a little bit, then I could take a deep breath and apologize before you eat me. That is a good idea, Bear said. I would like to hear you apologize before I eat you. So Bear lifted up his paw, but instead of apologizing, Brown Squirrel ran. He ran as fast as he could towards the pile of stones where he had his home. He had a tunnel under those stones and a nice warm burrow underground. Little Brown Squirrel's grandmother stood there in the door waiting for him. Hurry, Brown Squirrel, she called. Hurry, hurry! Little Brown Squirrel dove for the door to his home, but Bear was faster than he looked. He grabbed for Little Brown Squirrel with his big paw. Bear's long, sharp claws scratched Brown Squirrel's back from the top of his head to the tip of his tail. But Brown Squirrel got away. Deep down in his burrow, where Bear couldn't get him, Brown Squirrel curled up next to his grandmother and slept all winter while those scratches on his back healed. When spring came again, Little Brown Squirrel came out of his hole and looked at himself. There were long pale stripes all the way down his back where Bear had scratched him. He was Brown Squirrel no longer. He was now Chipmunk, the striped one. That is how Chipmunk got his stripes. Ever since then, Chipmunk has been the first animal to get up every morning as the sun rises. He scoots to the top of the tallest tree to sing his song. The sun came up, the sun came up, the sun came up, the sun came up. And ever since then, Bear has been the last animal to get up. He doesn't like to hear Chipmunk's song. It reminds him, as it reminds us all, that no one, not even Bear, can do everything. Comprehension. How to analyze the text. Use these pages to learn about understanding characters and author's word choice. Then read how Chipmunk got his stripes again. Use what you learned to understand it better. Understanding characters. How Chipmunk got his stripes tells why chipmunks look the way they look. In this story, the characters deal with some problems. For example, Brown Squirrel tells Bear that he can't keep the sun from coming up. Think about what the characters do and say when they have a problem. List text evidence in a chart like the one below. Character, event, words, thoughts, actions. Author's word choice. Authors sometimes repeat words or phrases. This is called repetition. Repetition sometimes makes the words you read have a rhythm or beat. Repetition also helps you understand important parts of the story. On page 300, Bear repeats, "Yes, I am." This helps you understand that Bear brags a lot. Your turn. Return to the essential question. Turn and talk. How can stories help you learn a lesson? Talk with a partner. Use the lesson in the story as an example. Ask for more information if you do not understand your partner's idea. Classroom conversation. Now, talk about these questions with the class. 1. What do Bear and Brown Squirrel do when they have a problem? 2. What can you tell about each character from how they act when they have a problem? 3. How could Bear and Brown Squirrel each have handled his problems differently? Write about reading. Response. What did you learn from Brown Squirrel about teasing? Write a note to him telling how you feel about teasing. Give text evidence that tells why. Make sure you use complete sentences. Dear Brown Squirrel. Writing tip. When you write a note, include a greeting and a closing. Be sure to add a comma to each. Genre. Traditional tales are stories that have been told for many years. The moral is the lesson a character learns in a story. Why rabbits have short tails? Adapted by Gina Sabella. Once rabbits had a long, beautiful tail. It curled over his back like a furry fan. Rabbit was taking his family on a trip. We have to travel in the direction of the stream, Rabbit said. When we see the hill with the tallest height, we should head toward it. When they spotted the tallest hill, Rabbit saw that they would have to swim across the stream. Rabbit liked to brag. He told everyone how clever he was. He did not tell anyone that he could not swim. He did not want anyone to tease him. Rabbit saw a turtle crawling out of a tunnel. Then tiny turtles followed behind. You have a large family, Rabbit said. Yes, Turtle replied. My family is the biggest in the woods. I'm not sure, Rabbit answered. My family might be bigger. Line up your children across the stream, Rabbit said. Then I can see who has a bigger family. Soon the turtles were lined up. Rabbit and his family jumped on their backs and skipped across the stream. Turtle was not happy. He tried to grab Rabbit by the tail, but Rabbit's tail snapped off and he hopped away. Even after it healed, Rabbit's tail never grew long and beautiful again. Compare texts, text to text. Write an ending review to the moral taught in each of the stories you read. Write a few sentences about which moral you feel is the most important to learn. Explain why. Text to self. Act out a lesson. The characters in the stories you just read all learn a lesson. Act out for a partner a lesson you have learned. Have your partner guess what you learned. Text to word. Think about lessons. Think about the lessons taught in each selection. How would you things be different in our world if no one learned these lessons? Discuss your ideas with a partner. Build on each other's ideas. Grammar. Verbs in the present. A verb in the present names an action that is happening now. Add s or es to this kind of verb when it tells about a singular noun. Do not add s or es when the verb tells about a plural noun. Verbs after singular nouns. The bear sleeps. The animal runs. The chipmunk rushes. Verbs after plural nouns. 2 bears sleep. Many animals run. Some chipmunks rush. Try this. Choose the correct verb to complete each sentence. Then write the sentence correctly. 1. The squirrel learns a lesson. 2. Bears scratches. 3. The animal hides in a hole. 4. Days passes before the animal comes out. To make your writing smoother, join 2 short sentences with the same subject. Write in between the 2 predicates to make one longer sentence. Be sure to use the correct verb forms. Short sentences. Chipmunks find nuts. Chipmunks store them for the winter. New sentence with joined predicates. Chipmunks find nuts and store them for the winter. Connect grammar to writing. When you revise your instructions next week, try join 2 sentences that have the same subject. Informative writing ideas. Before you write instructions, think about the important steps. What does your reader need to know to do this project? When Alexa planned instructions for making a bird feeder, she listed important materials and steps. Then she numbered the steps in order in a chart. Exploring a topic. Things you need: pine cone, peanut butter, bird seed, spoon, paper plate, string. Step: spread peanut butter on pine cone. Hang on a tree. Roll in bird seed. Tie the string to pine cone. 2, 4, 3, 1. Writing process checklist. Did I think about my audience and purpose? Did I choose a topic I know well? Did I include all the important steps? Are my steps in the correct order? Step chart. 1. Tie a piece of string to a pine cone. 2. Cover the pine cone with peanut butter. 3. Roll the pine cone in bird seed. 4. Hang the bird feeder in a tree. Reading as a writer. What helpful step did Alexa add to her chart? Where can you add important or helpful step to your own chart? When I organized my instructions, I made sure I had all the important steps.